Hi, everybody. This is Angel Arts, and welcome to session number 8 of Pokemon Spectrum. We're just gonna dive right into the warm-up question. So, just for today's warm-up question, I guess I wanted to piggyback off of one of the interview questions that was asked of the Pokemon last time, because I thought it would be an interesting question to ask. I think one of you already answered this question, but for that person who already answered that question, I'm wondering if you could give a more honest answer if the first question you gave wasn't as honest completely. And that is, if your Pokemon could be a human for a day, what would they do if your Pokemon could be human for a day? And I'm also going to flip that and say, if your trainer could be a Pokemon for the day, first of all, which Pokemon do you think it would be? Or at least what Pokemon type it would be? If you can't, there's so many choices, so if you want to narrow it down by just say, my Pokemon would be my trainer would be this Pokemon type, and then what would you want to do as a Pokemon if you were a Pokemon for the day?
Would I want to turn back, though? I mean, no one's trying to kill me. No one's going to be freaked out that I'm in the city. Although I need pants. Mm-hmm. Chase, do we have extra pants? This is weird.
You have an apron.
Okay. Well, no, who has the apron? Grimer, give me the apron.
I mean, you tried to flash people before and you were fine with that.
True. That was matter of survival. No, for Lux, it would just being able to talk to Chase. And, well, they do understand each other, but more clearly understand each other. He has so much baggage.
Would you say that Lux would be relieved? For once in his life, people can actually see him and
Exactly. That too.
Like, I would think psychologically that would be huge for him.
Yes.
Like, that in and of itself is something that's a big boon for becoming human. Unless he becomes human and he's still so horrific looking. That could be true. He could still be horrific looking, and anybody who sees him might still die of fear or go mad. But how about Tiffany if she was Pokemon for a day? A Pokemon for a day.
What was it? We actually Brushman did some art for us in Discord, asked which Pokemon they'd be. I think it was Leopard I chose. I know it's the Purloin Evolve. It's Dark type.
What would you want to do, you think, if you were a Pokemon for a day?
That is a really good question. Because she's usually so busy with, well, I have work and I have you to take care of, and this would, I don't have to do either, but she would still want to keep an eye on you, and, okay, what does he do when I'm not around? Assuming you would not recognize her as a Pokemon.
Okay, so you would spy on Ew.
Yep.
There we go. That's a great answer.
So, if your trainer was unconscious, why would you move her?
If you want me to stall, ask me for a PC to answer that question.
Okay. So, I mean, what I said with Bullet, even though it wasn't Bullet's turn, I think was accurate, even if not like delivering packages with Molly, just in the sense of still just hanging out with Molly. And I do think that we're going to get a lot of those kinds of answers because we do have good bonds, like the trainers and Pokemon in this. If Molly weren't in the picture, I think that it would be really bizarre for him not being able to fly or be that fast, but he would suddenly have hands with thumbs and be able to get his own food. So that's probably what he would spend a lot of his time doing, just enjoying himself and gorging and stuff. But Molly would definitely take, priority. And then if Cassie were a Pokemon, maybe it would be an Eevee for the sake of irony, or otherwise, like Brushman Drew, I think Abra is a fairly good choice. And I think that she would want mostly to just go around and talk to different Pokemon and get actual information from the source, because she has a lot of questions regarding natures or, evolution or things like that, and I'm sure that being able to teleport as an Abra would be pretty amazing and things like that. So kind of just enjoying being in such a kind of supernatural form and having those abilities, and then being able to just talk to other Pokemon as though it were nothing.
And you'd always have a spoon.
Yeah.
And if you needed a spoon.
Just in case.
Just in case you needed to eat something or bend something. Yes.
Okay. If Fern could be a human for the day, She would probably enjoy being able to talk to Cassie because she likes Cassie a lot. But she'd also like to be able to talk to humans in general. She wouldn't like have to struggle so much just to get a point across. And she wouldn't have to be ashamed of only having one tail. Like, it wouldn't matter. Humans don't have tails.
Ooh, I didn't know she was ashamed. Good to know.
And if Nor could be a Pokemon of the day, she would probably be a Meowstic. Mainly because they're a native to the Kalos region and they're psychic. And as a Pokemon, people wouldn't be angry at her for being a psychic. It would just be like, psychic Pokemon, cool. It would be less discrimination.
I was going to ask, since you actually picked a Pokemon that was still psychic, Noir has never crossed the back of her mind what would be like if she wasn't psychic. Maybe for a day if she just wasn't psychic anymore. Did that ever cross her mind, or she never thought about that?
It has crossed her mind. But she'll feel like if she wasn't psychic, she would be losing a piece of herself.
Sure, I'll get this over with.
Here we go.
This was a rough one. Because I mean, one, I don't know 800 plus Pokemon just off the core, but I've done enough research on the certain types of Pokemon.
That sounds like a hotline, 800 Pokemon. That's the number you dial that your parents don't want you to dial. But anyway.
Yeah, I've done enough research into a core of them that I like for thematic reasons. And and so thankfully there are two that work for both these answers. So for Case, I will go with that. No, I'm going to do Case last. So for what would Remy do for a day? I think this was the hard one for me because there's like parts of his personality that haven't been explored yet, which I want to eventually get to, but it's intimidating to me because it's going to show a different side of him that I don't know which Pokemon he's going to open up to, and I don't know who he's because he can't talk to people. So even if he doesn't want to open up to Pokemon, how does he communicate to people? So I think if he could talk, he'd probably start a revolution of some sort. He'd probably get out there and start working the field to get names of people who are taskmasters in particular. And he'd try to gather other Pokemon as a human to then have them not work as slaves, but work as partners to then take out taskmasters. So I think he'd become a bit of a vigilante at the end of the day, like way worse than Chase. I think because he feels a little bit limited in his fox form, and I know he can evolve and that there's a reason why he's not, but I think given the ability to like walk amongst people, I think he'd probably be more dangerous than he is as a fox. So with Chase, my first, I mean, the easy one was because we had those Pokemons drawn as us and in Discord. And so the Houndoom I thought was a pretty cool idea. Dark fire. I think it fits Chase's personality and just the motion aspect of things. But another part of me, and as depressing as this might sound, I think the one that makes more sense is the Yamask of all Pokemon. So Yamask because, the idea that it carries its face that it used to have as it was a human. So even as a Pokemon, Chase would want to remember who he was as a person because that's what he's trying to discover is his own identity. So he wouldn't let that go. And I think as a Pokemon, he would be depressed at the fact that he's got a past out there that he can't. He'd be crying while looking in mirrors and stuff like that. And yeah, so Yamask, depressing. I know. Good morning.
Lux will hug you.
For Ooh, obviously, I think he would want to go shopping and try on all of the eyelashes, just all of the accessories, And I think for him, being able to put them on by himself without needing anyone's help, that would be kind of liberating for him. Because I think with his gooey hands, it's hard for him to. He's not very deft with his hands, obviously. So I think he would enjoy being able to just do things, just put on makeup or do whatever he wants by himself with no one else's help. I think that's what he would enjoy the most. And for Molly, I was. I on Discord drew Molly as a Leafeon, and I like the way it looked, but actually I'm gonna go back on that. I'm gonna say that Molly would be best as a Togekiss.
Ooh.
And yeah. And the reason being that this hasn't come up in the sessions at all, but Molly, in a way, is kind of jealous of Bullet, the fact that he can fly around. And don't want to go into detail yet, but yeah, she definitely, she loves being in the air with Bullet, and sometimes she wishes she could fly by herself without Bullet. And I chose Togekiss because it says here on Bulbapedia that it's rarely seen, but it only appears in peaceful areas, and it brings happiness to people who are respectful and kind. And Molly could use a lot of kindness in her life, I think, and I think she wishes that she could have just some time when she could just have a peaceful moment. I think that's what she wants most these days. So I think that suits her very well.
Do you want to ask me an NPC? I'll do it if you have one.
Roma, you
Lady
threw
Luck.
out there. Lady Luck? Oh, yeah, Felicity.
Felicity.
Sure.
Oh, nice.
There's a Pokemon that's very heavily associated with berries, Pokeberries. I think that if she was going to be, she likes making smoothies. So I know that, what is that? Shuckle, I think is his name. Shuckle's a Pokemon that takes Pokeberries, and I think he actually squeezes the Pokeberries into juice or something along those lines, if I remember the lore. So that's what's fitting for her, although I feel like Felicity would want to be a Pokemon that was a little bit more active than that, because I don't think Shuckle really gets to do much, because I mean it's a turtle, but it doesn't look as active of a turtle as, say, Squirtle is. So I guess I don't know if I can pick a specific other Pokemon, but I'll say that her type, I kind of see her as a fairy type. I don't know, her personality just screams fairy to me. So some fairy Pokemon that enjoys Pokeberries a lot would probably be what she would be. So, okay. Let's take it from immediately where we left off. So you guys are actually still in the storeroom, or wherever that room the battle took place. And I think that the Dragonair has been finished being questioned. You guys have been finished. I think, like, I'll just make it simple and say that, like, all of the obvious general questions have already been asked and answered about the situation, and right now the police, the Jennies, are applying the red tape or whatever all around the area so they can continue investigating the premises. And they'll probably start asking everybody to make their way out so that they can continue their investigation. But if you guys want to say anything before you leave the crime scene, you're welcome to say anything before you leave.
Tiffany's more just been glaring at the case and like that's what we were supposed to see here.
The case or the chase?
Case.
Okay.
Chase was back up a little bit out of the scene just because of Lux inside his hoodie at this point than anything else. And he would want to catch up with the other ones, but he wouldn't want to be in the vicinity of cops, like potentially asking me questions, because he doesn't want to risk Lux.
Actually, once Lux, I'm assuming he's heard Kyle inside the hoodie, he's gone into his ball.
Yeah, Molly's actually gonna go to Bullet, open up the saddlebags, and pull out 2 bottles of water. And she's gonna go up to Noir and Remy and say, "Here, do you need some?"
Wow, that's expensive. I have a potion. Could do a trade. It's not the same amount, but
Well, I don't know. I mean, just you guys. I think you guys got seriously hurt. Just have some.
okay. Demi, I'm having water, so you have water.
I
Remy
do.
will shake his head.
I do have my healer's kit with me in the dressing room, guys.
Probably should go down.
Yeah,
Try to take it from you.
yeah. Could you go get that real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll
And
head off to
you-
go get that.
U will stay where he is. Just kind of watch Tiffany run out of the room and just stay where he is.
If nothing else is happening, you guys are going to be taken back to the auditorium again, just because with all of the excitement that's going on, Dragonair just wants to try to make the rest of the day as normal based on their schedule as possible. So you guys are going to be, back in the auditorium because the judges have been informed of what's going on. There's nothing they can do about it now, so they might as well continue on with the contest. Sans one of the contestants, obviously, who, surprise, surprise, has been disqualified. Surprise, surprise. Oh my goodness. So now we only have 2 candidates left. Okay. So, back up on the stage, Dragonair will get up, and you see that she's redone her makeup again, because I think during the excitement of the fight, she needed to do a little bit of touching up. But now that she's back, she gets up onto the podium and says, "Well, we had quite a bit of an afternoon, it seems, but as they say, the show must go on. So we wanted to give the results of today's competition and crown the next consultant here at the Saffron City Contest Center. Let me begin by saying that the goal of today's competition is not necessarily to win. Never did we say that the winner was automatically going to be the one that we would choose. We were going to be observing how the candidate carried themselves and how they treated their Pokemon. Those were all the major factors we were looking at, not necessarily whether or not you actually won the contest or not. Fortunately, we felt that the stronger candidate indeed was the person who won legitimately the contest, and so we would like to give an offer to Miss Tiffany Benoit, and they'll clap. And at that point, Jefferson looks a little defeated, but he'll force a smile, and he'll
Starts to
give
go
a
in for a
clap.
hug, realizes still covered in Grimer goo in the front, extends hand instead. You fought well.
You did as well. And I heard that some of your Pokemon fought well earlier too.
Yeah, I just disgusted noises all around.
But she says, however, the judges also were very impressed by Jefferson, despite some of the choices that he made near the end about utilizing the performance enhancers. However, besides that though, we thought of him as a very good candidate, so we actually have another separate position that we thought would be suitable for him. So Jefferson, we would also like to offer you a position here at the center, and you and I will negotiate the terms of that position afterwards. Really? I get to work here too?
Aw,
Well-
we get to see each other.
It might be fun. Maybe.
Aw.
We don't know. I'm not sure which. This is a very large place. I don't know exactly where they're putting me, but hey, I'll take it. Now, Miss Benoit, she says,
Yes.
for the winner, we have a bonus. We will be offering you 15,000 Pokebucks for your bonus up front. You can decide if you would like to keep all of that to yourself or if you wanted to distribute some of those Pokebucks for the benefit of the Pokemon that you use in the contest. That is completely up to you.
Oh, it'll be split 5 ways for the Pokemon, of course.
Like I said, that is completely your choice. And you and I can negotiate the terms of your regular schedule. We require for all of our consultants to work 4 days a week.
Not a problem.
But if you want to determine your schedule of 4 days a week, you may. And we do offer a very generous vacations package as well. So, if you have any questions, I'm sure you can talk to me about the details. But congratulations to the both of you. We're very excited to have you here at the Saffron City Contest Center. And yes, I look forward to working with both of you.
Oh, you too.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for today, everybody. Drive safe, and we will talk later. And then she'll get off the stage. The Dragonair will then give you your check for your 15,000 Pokebucks bonus, and you guys can decide what you want to do for the rest of the day.
Goes, runs over to team. As soon as this is cashed, I will divvy it. Don't worry.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So well done.
Yes. Now, if just the chaos hadn't happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. You did great.
Thank you.
Just wish the day could have ended a little differently.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Cassie too seems pretty distant, probably because of all that, but she still offers a little smile and nod, especially in thanks about the cash part.
So is everyone looking at Chase? He knows it's that.
Oh yeah, you're here too. Hi.
He's pretty distant right now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Lux right now.
Understandable. Lux is still hiding in his ball.
Ooh was not paying attention during any of that.
Similar.
He was just sitting. He found a corner, and he's just sitting.
Chase will go to Ooh if he's in the corner, and he'll kneel down. Say, "Hey, buddy, what's going on?"
Ooh will actually flinch a little bit, and he'll scoot away a little.
Chase won't follow, but he'll open up his arms. He's like, "Come on, buddy, you can't be here by yourself."
And Ooh is still has some tears coming down. He's not crying uncontrollably anymore, but he does still have tears. But he looks up at Chase, and then he slowly starts to come back to him and kind of gives him a very half-hearted hug.
It's not safe. It's not safe. And Chase will try to pick him up if he allows it.
Ooh will allow it. He just sits in Chase's arms just silently. Doesn't really make eye contact. Just keeps looking down.
Yeah, Tiffany is just watching this like, that really should have been me over there. Wraps arms around waist and feels horrible.
Tiffany, you said you had a first aid kit. Some Pokemon are pretty injured, so
We should get on that.
yeah.
All right, back to the dressing rooms, everybody.
When you guys are back in your dressing rooms, there's going to be a knock on the door.
Tiffany's hands are probably going to be full with tending Pokemon, so someone can get that, please? I'd rather not break my concentration.
The door will open, and Lieutenant Jenny is at the other side of the door. May I come in?
Sure thing, Lieutenant. Tiffany is still focused on which Pokemon is she working on? Remy? I think he got hurt the worst.
Yeah, I'd say Remy.
Probably
Okay.
best, yeah.
Okay, Remy, I'm just going to have to cut off your costume, then I'm going to flush the wound, then I'm going to do some sterilization. It'll be fine.
But no, costume. Yes.
Just the costume. Your fur will remain intact, I promise. I just need to get you stabilized so you don't bleed out, and we can get you to a Poke Center, okay?
Lieutenant Jenny looks down towards the Pokemon, and particularly Remy, with a very thoughtful look. I heard that they fought valiantly during the heist, or not the heist. They fought valiantly during the theft.
Tiffany wasn't there, so
Yeah, Cassie just looks to Noir. Like, she was there, but she didn't really get to see much of it.
They did. Yeah. There's attack on site. They didn't respond to us asking. Iridescent attack on site. They didn't respond to like, hey, what are you doing? Just. Yeah.
It was a very brave thing, he says, looking towards the Pokemon again. Well, we're just wrapping things up over at the storeroom, and I thought that you 5, 10, he's looking at the Pokemon, we probably should chat. So, this is the third time that we've sort of run into each other in very uncompromising circumstances. I admit that through my training, one of the things I have to pay attention to is patterns. I'll start by saying that no, I don't feel that you guys are involved in the sense that you're behind any of these things. Quite the contrary, actually. However, I cannot ignore the fact that by some circumstance, every single time something like this happens, the 5 of you, 10 of you, seem to be involved in some form, regardless. Normally, some people might consider that coincidence. I, however, have learned not to ignore such things.
So what do you think it actually is then?
He rubs his eyes a little bit, and he says, I'm not exactly sure. But I feel that if the patterns continue, we're gonna find ourselves involved in this even further in the future. So, we might as well start working together if that's the case.
Oh, you're serious.
Oh, I'm very serious.
Oh, goody. Well, guess this is better than you not wanting us around.
Would you be able to provide combat training?
I'd prefer emotional training, personally.
Are we all just jumping on board with this?
I'd rather be on the right side of the law than the wrong.
Well, you're not the wrong side of the law and you're just a bystander.
I'd rather have backup.
I'm not suggesting that you all get involved in a way that would require you to put yourselves in a dangerous, life-threatening situation. However, if you wish to have combat training, I'm sure that we can make arrangements. I was thinking that perhaps if you are able to help with this case from a civilian standpoint, then that would be perfectly helpful. Whatever is happening here, I'm sure involves the plates in some way. We need to get to the bottom of... Perhaps. We don't know for sure.
Molly's been looking down the whole time, just thinking, and then she looks up again and she says, "The security cameras." She says, "Lieutenant." She walks up to the lieutenant. "Lieutenant, is Madison Rainier still in your custody?"
Madison's been sent back to the correctional facility.
Okay. Listen. She is very, very good with computers. She has her partner. I don't know if you know her partner. He's a Rotom, and I'm actually taking care of him right now. I mean, maybe if you want to give her some something to do while she's there, she can help us.
Chase is gonna approach the lieutenant much closer, with his hoodie zipped up, and he's gonna say, "I don't know what Madison did. I don't know why you took her in, but you're going to take her back out.
Molly's shocked. She looks at Chase and she's okay, and she steps back away from him.
Chase, it was no fault of her own. I said the wrong thing at the wrong time when I woke up in coma, and apparently a bunch of things got unraveled and figured out because tech was good at their jobs. And Madison was put there because she helped me one time, and she got punished for it. And wasn't aware that you were closely involved with her. Sorry I didn't tell you previously.
Tiffany leans into Cassie. Okay, I feel like I should know who this Madison is, but no one's introduced me to her.
Cassie, her arms folded, just kind of shrugs.
Okay, at least you don't know who she is either.
Concerning what happened to Madison, my hands were tied. I didn't have any control over that. At least, I didn't have any control over the fact that she got caught. What I do have control over, however, is what happens to her afterwards. I've been talking with the people at the correctional facility, and I was asking if perhaps I could pull some strings. One of which is determining a suitable community service for Madison, which may or may not necessarily require her to be at the facility. If you are suggesting that her skills could be utilized by the Force, then that could be a very good, suitable form of community service.
I think that would be perfect. I mean, she would have Tim with her. Her Rotom. His name is Tim. She would have Tim with her again, and he likes to be inside of computers for some reason, and that helps Madison a lot. So I think that both of them working for you, I think that would be perfect, sir.
She'll need a place to stay.
I'll find her a place to stay.
Do you even have a place to stay?
I'll find her a place to stay.
All right, you'll find her a place to stay.
Wherever she decides to stay, I would much prefer that she stayed with one of you five.
I will look after her.
Again, I asked.
She could stay with me if she wants to. I mean,
From my Go ahead.
I'm the only one who actually has a place to live, and I think I'm the only one who lives by herself right now. So yeah, she can stay with me, I guess. And she, under her breath, Molly says, it'll be kind of cramped, but yeah.
I have to find out with the director at the correctional facility what the terms would be. My assumption is that she would have to report back to the correctional facility every day just to inform them of what she's been doing and things of that nature. But as long as she stays where she is and doesn't run off, I see that they will be able to honor her at least living with you for the time being. It's a bit unorthodox, but this is a very unusual situation, and Miss Kearney has allowed me to take some liberty of protocol every once in a while for extenuating circumstances, of which I think this is going to be one of them.
One.
If I'm wrong, however, then this definitely can backfire on me personally. So I hope you understand I'm taking a giant risk.
I understand that, sir, and I appreciate it. I know Madison will appreciate it too. And I don't know. I mean, I think I speak for all of us when I say we all appreciate everything you've done so far.
Yes.
Correct.
Cassie scoffs just a little bit.
Very well then, he says. I guess I'll be in touch. Miss Pine.
She'll perk up, but didn't say anything yet.
It is my understanding that you recently started working over at Prism Labs.
That's right.
How do you like it there?
I mean, it's a nice place.
You see yourself staying there for a while.
Yeah, I could, under the right circumstances.
Would you be willing to stay there on our behalf, at least?
Are you just asking for help, sir, or are you offering something?
Help.
Well, on your behalf, then, I'm not so sure.
Fair enough.
What exactly did you want her to... What exactly did you want her to do?
We're still trying to figure out if there's any connection that Prism Labs has with Miss Sherrod and her biologically engineered self. We asked Prism Labs about it, and the people that I spoke to said that they had no idea what we were talking about.
No, they seem to like to keep everything pretty hush-hush there.
They tend to keep things at a need-to-know basis, however, if you hear anything that might be useful, just off, maybe over lunch or something, if you know what I'm saying.
I'll keep it in mind, Lieutenant.
Thank you. Again, very unorthodox of me to ask such a thing, but, like I said, this is extenuating circumstances. If there's nothing else, then I guess I will bid you adieu.
Molly will step forward and she'll say, "One more thing, Lieutenant, just a personal question."
Yes, Miss Moon.
So is Dr. Pearl still working at the prison?
Looks a little surprised by that. And he says, yes. Not as often as she did before, but I believe she does work there at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Would it be possible for an outside visitor to come in and just have a chat with her?
I don't see why that would be a problem.
Molly says, I was...
He takes out a card, and he hands you her card.
And Molly will take it and she'll say, she'll try not to sound too eager, but thank you.
She's very good at what she does. Believe me, I know.
Yeah, she really is. And Molly says she really is, but then she does a double take. Oh, were you also a former patient?
He nods. Former? Yes.
That's why you recommended her.
Like I said, she's good at what she does.
Are you a current patient of hers?
He nods.
Molly just kind of stares at him and there's a bit of sympathy in her eyes now.
All right.
She says, well, maybe I'll pop in and visit sometime then. Thank you for this again, Lieutenant.
You're most welcome. He will nod without saying another word, and then he will leave the dressing room and shut the door behind him.
So once he leaves, Cassie will let out a sigh and just, drop her arms and look around to the others and say, "So what do you guys make of all this then? Y'all seem pretty on board."
Do we even have a choice, really?
Exactly.
He's already jumped to the wrong conclusion with this Madison situation. I'd rather not tick him off further.
I feel like this is the reason why the gods, Cresselia summoned us to a realm, why they're giving us why Ho-Ho gave us a gift.
Well, if that were the case, why didn't she summon the lieutenant with us? It's not like we were all in the same room together.
That's a very good question.
I feel like the gods are threatened by the Arceus place getting stolen. They could do something to control Arceus or something about Arceus. Arceus is normally the head god, and if they control him or do something to him, maybe the rest will suffer. They're looking.
I'm not opposed to helping. I I just don't want to work to get some man a promotion.
How about we work not to get ourselves or our Pokemon dead? Tiffany is, I think by now she's finished up working on Remy. Fern, sweetie, can you hop up here? I want to start on you next. You're after Fern.
It might also be easier to change our perspective on how that relationship will work. I don't think I'll be working for him. I think I'm going to work the scenario so that he's working for me.
Good luck with that.
Like you said, we're just going to... Oh, sorry.
Like you said, it's unorthodox, so let's make it unorthodox.
Well, look at us. We're already a pretty unorthodox group.
Yeah,
I don't know how much more unorthodox we could get.
Very true.
We're going to keep getting into these situations so we can at least have more access to information and ways to combat it.
Exactly.
By the way, can I address the Fanpy in the room here?
All right.
Cassie tenses.
Purely coincidental that she mentioned Fanpy. Yeah, I want to mention the Fanpy in the room here, okay? And she looks at Noir and Cassie and she says, "I'm sorry that I wasn't there for the big fight. I was busy at the table stuffing my face, as I tend to do when I see food, especially free food."
At that, Tiffany's hands start shaking as she's working on Fern. You weren't the only one. Guys, I could only see this place as being safe. It never even crossed my mind you could be in danger. And the reality is, today you were here under my banner and people got hurt. I'm really sorry about that. It should not have happened.
You had no idea this could happen. Like, you're not to blame. None of us are to blame for what happened.
Yeah, but this was my door. Did we not see the big case in the middle of the room? The one that looks like the crystal behind my door?
Yeah, we never saw that until we opened that door to that room on a chance circumstance. You could never have known.
Yeah, but the gods threw us together for a reason.
Molly says, at any rate, I think anytime one of our Pokemon or one of us runs off somewhere because we see something strange, I think it would be good for us all to be on alert, if not always following. And does this mean, I guess this means we have to put a rain check on our celebration.
Unfortunately, I really don't feel much like celebrating anymore, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, Fern, yours wounds weren't that bad. The dress can be salvaged. I'm just going to have to take it for dry cleaning. Okay. All right, Kettle Petal. You're next. She's actually going to go kneel down where Ooh is.
Yeah,
How badly was Ooh hit last session?
I can't remember. He definitely lost, I think, around half of his hit points by the end, I think.
Well, I'm doing first aid expertise, so it's all HP back and 1 injury healed.
Okay.
So it's more just actually seeing the damage now firsthand. And oh, baby, I'm so sorry. This should not have happened. I just told you get back instead of go play. I'm fine.
You looks up at her and he, he's still crying a little bit, and he looks over at Noir and Remy and everyone else who was there at the fight, and he starts crying a little bit more.
Am I hurting you? Are you upset?
And he just looks at Tiffany and he points at them, and
you're upset that you got hurt. Okay, baby. I'm sorry. A terrible, terrible thing was done to you and your friends this day. Pulls him into a hug, hand on the back of his head. I'm so sorry.
You will slowly reach up and hug her back. Molly's watching this whole scene, and she's also tearing up a little bit to see that. At any rate, guys, I promise, Bullet and I will always be on alert from now on.
He looks a little more somber, but he nods. And while they're dealing with that, Cassie would go over to Chase, just hands in her pockets, and say, "So you said making the lieutenant essentially work for us, yeah?"
Yep, and he's already asked you to be a mole.
Yeah, he didn't offer anything in return, though. I mean,
Exactly.
how exactly would you go about doing it?
Well, you're the one who's going to get the information, so you give him whatever you want to give him. I would bring the information to us first, though. Let us talk about it like a group, and then go to him. But I would say your priorities come first.
So it's mostly just a matter of we have what he wants.
He needs us more than we need him.
Yeah, based upon their response time, damn right.
And what is, if you don't mind me asking, is there a connection between you and Prism Labs? I got the sense that you know of the place.
I mean, I just, I saw a job posting recently, and one of my dad's friends actually heads the place, so I figured I had a pretty good chance of getting in.
Is he high up?
Oh yeah, he's very much in charge, if I'm remembering correctly.
So how long has it been since you talked to him? Does it seem like a good channel? Good channel to get to know?
It's been a long time since we spoke, aside from once I got the job. We lost connection for a while after, well, he and my dad, they used to be partners, but they ended up splitting, so.
Does your dad know that you got a job here?
I like to think so.
You don't know?
But you never know.
Do you talk to your dad?
No. No, he died some years ago.
So I brought it up.
No, I mean, how could you have known, right? But, it's an exciting prospect working for the lab. So, if this leads to uncovering some dark secret, so be it. I guess, like everyone's saying, that's kind of what we're here for at this point, huh?
If they're working on splicers, I mean, I don't want anyone else to know this, Cassie, but there's some opportunities there that are pretty evident. I mean, if there's people coming at us that are all better than human.
What are you saying?
I'm going to leave the rest unspoken right now. Let's see how far you get in Prism Labs, but I'll just leave it with, if you find something, or if you find out how to do and replicate what they're doing, I might be interested.
Well, I guess I'll let you know then.
I'll make it worth your time.
That she'll nod and then walk over and go see how Fern's doing.
Once Tiffany's done with the Pokemon, wouldn't mind just to get rid of an injury from Tiffany's first aid expertise or something, if it's possible.
And unfortunately, I can only use it 3 times a day, and 3 Pokemon already went first. Although, although she would have bandages in her first aid kit. That does remove one if you leave the bandages on for 6 hours.
I mean, we don't naturally we have healing per day. I mean, I don't know if we're going to be active or if we're going to time skip past the rest of this day, but
safety's sake, and we're all here. All right, I can start working on you. All right, cool. Shirt off. Chase, would you either mind leaving or turning around, please?
Yeah, actually, Chase will leave the room at this point after talking to Cassie. He's basically flipping his Pokeball, just like turning it around in his hand, and he's looking outside, and he's leaving. He won't even say bye.
Glances like, okay.
Yeah,
Shrugs.
I don't think anyone's surprised.
Thanks, Chase.
Yes, thank you. So Tiffany has collected what's left of the costumes, put them back into the bag. She's gone to Felicity's home. I don't know if anyone's there.
Yes. Yeah, you can go to Felicity's home. So Felicity, she lives in, like I said, she has probably lives in a place that has almost 2 acres of land. It's a very nice piece of property. It's a gated property, mostly because that's to keep away the wild Pokemon, I guess, from chomping on her orchards. But she will meet you at the front of the gate, and she's dressed not in robes, but she's definitely in more casual wear than she normally is. Maybe she's got on some is it Lopunny is the bunny? Lopunny is how you pronounce the bunny Pokemon? She's got some Lopunny. Lopunny slippers. She's got some brown Lopunny slippers on.
Aww.
And she says, well, Tiffany Benoit, she says, so tell me, how did things go over at the contest today?
Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory?
You got the job? Oh, honey, we have to celebrate.
No.
I'll whip you up whatever you'd like for
got
dinner.
Hurt. A lot of my friends'
Oh.
Pokemons got hurt. I'm in a foul mood, and it's no one's fault but my own.
My goodness, what kind of contests are they running over there?
No, one of the contestants was actually there to steal something, and our Pokemon tried stopping her, and it turned into a fight.
Steal something?
Yeah.
What were they trying to steal?
Apparently they had Arceus plates on site. And instead of doing the smart thing and having them locked up super tight with high security, let's just put them in a display case in an empty room with no guards.
Wait, Arceus plates? They had Arceus plates
I
on
know.
display? Wow. Aren't they essentially like holy artifacts or something?
I know, which is all the more baffling. They'd have it, but not under high guard. Why is this not in a museum? Although one was under a museum and it still got stolen anyway. Maybe it didn't matter. Sorry, I'm in a mood, like I said.
You look like you could use some tea or something.
Yes, tea.
Calm your nerves. I find that it calms your nerves very well. Let me see if I can whip you up something.
No, I should help. I'm a guest. I feel bad.
Oh, no. She says, I've been sitting in here watching Netflix all day. I could use a chance to get up on my feet.
How are the girls?
The girls are great. The girls are fine. She says, right now they're off at a friend's house, but you'll probably see them before you leave.
All right.
Much longer are you staying?
I should be going out tomorrow morning.
All right. Well,
The Tide wants to get home, and
she says, and everybody else is doing well then?
yeah. Well, Nora got a little banged up, but she's fine. Or she's going to be fine.
I have to say, Tiffany, you get yourself into some really interesting situations. I haven't had this much excitement in my life in years. And trust me, I don't know if I could use any more excitement in my life now.
No.
I kind of would like for things to be normal and peaceful.
I'm not
if
normal
possible.
and peaceful, too. I had normal and peaceful. Then there was the terrorist attack, and then I was in a coma, and then while I was in the coma, my body was moved, and I have not had normal and peaceful for almost a month. Tea. Let's have tea. And I need to make phone calls. Yes.
All right. She's going to go ahead and start making tea. If you have to make phone calls, go right ahead.
Okay. Looks down at you. Sweetie, are you going to be okay? Do you want me to stay with you, or do you want to go explore the orchard a bit?
He's gonna follow closely around Tiffany, wherever she happens to go. He's just gonna be there. He's not in a cheery mood though.
Yeah. Understandable. Okay. Tiffany is going to take down phone. Actually, if she has a porch or something outside she could sit down at.
Yes. Yes, she does.
Okay, dialing Jefferson then.
He picks up the phone.
Hey, you!
Hey, we just spoke today.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I actually want to ask your expertise about something.
You can hear on the phone Jefferson like sitting up or doing something. My expertise?
Yes.
On what?
Okay, you actually got your Pokemon at 10. I didn't. How did it handle its first fight? Ooh is not doing well mentally. Physically, he's as fine as I can make him.
Well, you know, our family, we typically don't really train our Pokemon to fight. They're normally trained for contests. So I wouldn't say most of my Pokemon that I've ever owned have really been combat.
Your very
or
first
had
one?
much experience. My very first one. Yeah. That. His voice breaks a little bit. Tiffany, you know I don't like to talk about. You don't know. You know I don't like to really talk about that very much.
Character?
You probably feel like it's a sensitive subject.
Okay.
But I don't think you know. You know he no longer has the Pokemon. You were told that the Pokemon ran away, but something about it makes you doubt that because it doesn't seem. Something just doesn't add up, like why the Pokemon would run away.
Oh, right. I am being a terrible, horrible person. I am letting my own tragedies get to me, and now I'm flicking that onto other people. Sorry.
He says, no, I just... It just brings back some... Well, this might sound weird. It brings back fond memories.
Go on.
You
I
know,
could use fondness right now.
Well, you know, I loved Pimple. He calls his first of all it was Pimple. I know.
My Pokemon's named you. Glass houses.
Pimple wasn't exactly a name that my mother approved of. She thought that once it started going into Pokemon contests, we should pick out a stage name. But I mean, I was like 6 at the time. So, of course I was gonna choose something really weird to name the Pokemon. It didn't matter, I loved the thing.
Exactly. Ruffles use head.
Well, Pimple and I, we were the best of friends. And, you know, it was... My mom was pushing to try to train Pimple to evolve as quickly as possible. I, of course, really wasn't all that interested in Pokemon contests at the time at the age of 6. So we thought maybe give it a few years and then we could start, I don't know, feeding it whatever needs to be fed to help encourage it to evolve. Anyway, it's a Wurmple. It was a Wurmple, as you remember.
Yeah. Third member of our trio.
Again, my mom isn't... Bug Pokemon...
Not her thing, as I recall.
Not her thing, but she does believe that with a little bit of investment, some of the best-looking Pokemon happen to be Bug Pokemon.
And its final evolution actually has beauty in the name.
Yes, so she was very excited for Pimple to break out of its ugly duckling stage and turn into a wonderful Beautifly. Well, eventually, I guess I was around 8, I think, maybe 9. Pimple actually evolved into a Silcoon, and we figured, hey, this is exciting. Pimple was cool as a Silcoon. Don't get me wrong, but it couldn't really do very much.
I remember.
So I wanted it to evolve I wanted to evolve to finally become, you know, the Beautifly that my mom really wanted. Well, you know the story. Turns out, the Silcoon wasn't a Silcoon, it was a Cascoon. Again, bug Pokemon isn't really my mother's thing, so she couldn't tell the difference. And it turned into a Dustox. And I loved my Dustox. I loved Pimple.
Yeah, obviously.
Mom.
Is your mom? Yeah. No offense.
Yeah, she wasn't as excited about it. So I came home from school one day and went to go. I came from home from school one day and I thought it was really weird that Pimple didn't come greet me after school. I looked around all over the house for it and I couldn't find him. I was devastated. I came to my mom crying. She helped look around for me and, well, we called the Jennies, and as far as I know, for whatever reason, Pimple just randomly decided to run away from home. Although, now that I look back on it a few years later, I kind of wonder about that.
Yeah. Tiffany's clearing out over the orchard. Sorry.
I mean, I'm over it, but I don't know. It's not exactly a part of my life I'd like to revisit.
Yeah.
At any rate, I've gotten other Pokemon, loads more Pokemon. My mom made sure that I had plenty of Pokemon to enter into contests, but...
Well, of course, you need the right companions in this world.
You know,
Yeah.
none of them were Pimple.
Yeah.
None of them were.
I'm beginning to see that with you.
But why are you asking me this question anyway?
Who's one of the most joyous little souls I've ever met. Given the fact in the beginning he was only supposed to be with me for a few months to save face, and now I cannot imagine my life without him in it. And right now he's hurting, and I don't know how to help him, other than to continue being here.
Well, let me ask you this. When you is in a good mood, what does he like to do?
Eyelashes, play in fabric, frolic, climb to my ceiling, stay on my ceiling as I try to get him down because he thinks it's hilarious for some reason.
Well, why don't you take him shopping? Maybe that'll cheer him up. Maybe let him pick out something. Take him shopping somewhere. Promise that you'll get him something.
Well, he did just win 300 Poke today.
Yeah. I mean, you can of course set some sort of price limit, but if you tell Ooh it can pick out anything it wants within this price limit, maybe that'll get him to cheer up a bit.
Thank you. I think Felicity has tea for me.
I mean, it also always worked for me.
Yeah, but we're easy to bribe as kids. Lemonade and chocolate bars.
Yeah.
How are we not fatter as children?
I don't know.
Oh, well,
Just be careful about the bribing part.
yeah.
It doesn't always end well.
Oh, so
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my car. I love my car.
It is very nice.
But I feel like the only reason why I got it was because I was depressed or something.
Yeah, those were the years I was busy ignoring you and being terrible.
Yeah. you
So,
were.
sorry about that. Okay, yeah, Felicity's coming. I really should go. Thank you. Are you gonna be
and
okay?
Congrats. I'm fine, Tiffany. I'm always fine.
Also,
You know
email me details. I know what we're gonna be doing.
Fair enough.
Also, I want to
Okay.
know your opinion, Miss Onair. I think she's amazing.
I think she's cool. I think that I don't know. I'm the kind of guy who always believed that less is more when it comes to makeup, but it's
Her
it's
eyeshadow
face.
game's stronger than mine. I never meet that in person.
I mean, it matches. I mean, she does. It matches with the rest of her outfit. So
Exactly.
I mean, I'll give her that. But I don't know. For me, less is more when it comes to makeup.
True. But then again, you just need a little concealer and you're fine. Not fair for the rest of us, I tell you.
Tell your dad I said hi.
Oh, yeah, Lobel. Yeah. That should be fun tomorrow. Yeah. Fun. Okay. Bye.
Good night. And he hangs up.
Also hangs up.
Okay.
Chase goes to this old warehouse. It's multi-stories. It's about 6, 7 stories. Let's just say 6. 7's too lucky. So
Not 13?
definitely not 13. So he gets up to the roof and he pulls out his Pokeball and he starts just knocking on the court. He's sitting on the edge of the building, just like his like legs hanging off, and he starts knocking the Pokeball on the edge of the building to get the attention of Lux, who's inside.
Goes on for a few minutes, ignored, and finally Lux pops out.
Yeah, Chase wouldn't have stopped knocking until he did.
Yeah, Lux had a feeling about that.
Yes. So Chase looks at Lux and he just calls him over. It's like, do you remember this place, little brother? It's where we first hung out after I found you 6 years ago. What happened? What happened at the contest place, I know is probably rough for you, but I mean, I wish I wasn't there with you, but at the same time, I think you took care of yourself, and I wish you could talk back to me so that I could understand what you're feeling. I feel like this is always a one-way conversation where I tell you things, but I can never hear back.
Lux is pulling from inside the costume and letting it snap back out. You know, it's a fidget move.
He's plucking at his own costume?
Yep.
Sorry, so come sit on the edge with me and let's just enjoy this time up here. It's no one comes and bothers us. This place has been abandoned for years and no one will come up here and bother us. This is a place where you can be as free as you want.
Looks at Chase, then looks up at Sky for a minute, then comes over and sits beside you.
I don't know how you're going to express this to me, but did anything happen back there that is going to affect you long term? Is it something I can help with? Is it something personal? Is it something tied to your past?
Long pause before he finally nods again.
And he's patting him on the back, and he's sort of like, and then he grabs the hoodie, the cloth, and he sort of like just pulls on it. And he's like, is it this thing? Do you feel like you always have to hide from something? Or are you afraid of what's underneath? Chase will zip up his hoodie all the way, and he'll even put his hood on. He'll bring down his goggles, and he pulls off Lux's hoodie.
Out character. Aw. In character, few seconds almost frantically tries to snatch it back down and on.
Chase is just looking out over the horizon. He doesn't look back down at Lux, but he does pull him closer, and he's like, you don't have to pretend to be anyone else when you're up here with me.
You feel Lux start to tremble a little, where he finally just leans into you, wraps one arm around your thigh.
You'll be okay, buddy.
Mm.
You're okay. You'll be okay, little brother. And you'll just continue looking out into the over the city.
Lex will do much the same.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, then you guys go to sleep. You wake up back in the dream zone again. And this time, when you wake up in the dream zone, one of the doors is glowing.
Ah, this should be
One.
interesting.
The one that contained the prism is glowing.
Hey Tiff,
I
I'll
believe
open
that's
it.
the crystal. I believe that's the crystal one.
Yep. So I'm gonna go open that, see what we're looking at. If we're getting another toy or if we're being punished.
You go over to the crystal door and you open it easily, and you can briefly see the prism object just as you saw it in the storeroom earlier that day. The prism disappears, and in its place you see a silhouette of a Suicune. And then the Suicune, you can feel the air around you dip in temperature, not to the point where it's uncomfortable, but it's noticeable that the temperature goes down. And then the Suicune starts to turn into an icy mist, and the icy mist disperses and goes into your bodies. And you guys now get this boon.
Oh, they're not ticked at us. Yay.
No, they're not.
Although I am ticked at them. Sorry.
This gift is called Water Absorb. So you guys can activate this once a day. And if you do, the chosen person is immune to the damage and effects of water type attacks, and whenever they are hit with a water type attack, they gain a tick of hit points. Yes, this also means that if you are hurting, all you have to do is jump into a body of water and you'll start regenerating hit points.